Good afternoon and welcome to the end of week market review for August 2nd, 2013. You're going to see that our US markets are rising bullish while our Canadian markets are still declining. You're going to see that we're going to be covering off a few things in today's presentation. First off, we're going to be taking a look at the market news, just trying to get an idea of what's been going on a global scale and how it's been affecting the US markets. We're then going to go ahead and take a look at some news for the S&P 500 and the Toronto Stock Exchange. While we're looking at this, we're going to be looking at technical analysis for daily and weekly charts. While on the weekly charts, we'll be looking at a yearly chart as well as back to 2002. And then finally, we'll finish things off by taking a look at the volatility indicator and one of our great picks. So going ahead and looking at the news, you're going to see that the markets did end up with a pretty good week after breaking through some overhead resistance. A lot of it's been from federal talk as well as positive earnings. Right now we have the Dow Jones up 0.64% from last week and the S&P 500 up 1.07%. You are going to see that there was a slight decline in oil, with it now down 0.11%. This puts it to $106.88 per barrel. We have silver up 1.20%. This puts it to $19.86 per ounce. And then we've got gold up 0.21%. This puts it to $1,314 per ounce. And finally, we have our US Canadian pair down 0.01%. This puts it to 1.0390 pips. Taking a look at the economic reports, the most important thing that we would look at right now is the jobless claims. You're going to see that we came in at 326,000 versus 345,000. This means that we did beat the expectations and ended up having a good week as far as those go. Moving on to the S&P 500, you're going to see that we've definitely had that clear breakout, which happened on Thursday. And then today on Friday, we ended up with a continuation of that breakout. Right now, it was enough to move the MACD into a rising bullish situation, with a black line just about to cross through the blue line. While looking at the S&P 500 on a weekly chart, you're going to see that we've now spent 4 weeks above the previous trend high, which was about a couple months ago. Right now, we don't have anything else to reference to for profit targets, as the S&P 500 is just way too overbought. This becomes even more clear when you zoom back and look all the way back to 2002. You're going to see that we have had no examples where the S&P 500 has been this high. So really now we're just going to trade off of the news, we're going to trade off of what other people are doing, and we're going to expect a pullback at any time. Now, obviously, though, if we look back at what's been happening throughout the last couple of years, you're going to see that we've always been pushing up into higher highs. So this really isn't any different. It just means that we've pushed ourselves into some record breaker highs. While looking at the TSX, you're going to see that it's not exactly following the same suit as the S&P 500 is. You're going to see that it is still relatively flat, even though we've had a good couple of days, and the MACD is still declining bullish with that black line down below the blue line. When you zoom back onto the weekly chart, you're going to see that it's got quite a cycle highs that it has to break through in order for it to be at its all-time high. Right now, it'd be impressive to see it break beyond 13,000, while it would actually need to break beyond 14,000 in order to be at its highs. Going back even further, you're going to see that there's some cycle highs as high as 15,000 that the TSX would have to break through on that ultimate chart. Looking at the volatility indicator, you're going to see that it is currently at 11.98. This puts it well below its normal average, which happened to be between 12 and 14. If the indicator starts to work itself back up into the 200 EMA, then we need to start looking at some caution. All in all, though, right now, we're going to take our trading opportunities as they arise. If you have any further questions, make sure that you either send us an email or a phone call. Both our email address and phone number are listed on the screen. This has been the end of week market review for August 2nd, 2013. Ciao for now.